All right, welcome back to the coverage of Eldraine, Wilds of Eldraine. Today we are taking a look at the new land-based combo that has come out of this set. And while it's not a combo with multiple lands, it will involve your lands to some degree. Particularly, it will involve the animation lands. For this example, I'll be using Blinkmoth Nexus because it is evasive and has flying. So what we ultimately want to do in this set is make use of Draconic Destiny from Brothers War. This is a 3-mana red enchantment that goes onto a creature, so it can go into our creature lands. And how this works is it has the creature that it enchants gets flying, haste, and the ability for 1 mana to give it +1/+0 until end of turn. So what we want to do is utilize the new card out of Eldraine, Blossoming Tortoise, a card that, among other things, gives the activated abilities of lands the ability to be activated for 1 less. So if you'll notice, if our land was to get the ability Draconic Destiny gives it, then we will go ahead and be able to use Blossoming Tortoise to activate that infinitely. And basically, once we have an unblockable Blinkmoth Nexus, this represents lethal for our opponent. So this is one way that we can just try to win the game. Now, the other axis that this deck can operate on is just being a generally decent red-green aggro deck, or kind of a late-game aggro deck. What I mean by that is we're running a lot of different creatures. We have a lot of control elements in Volcanic Spite, Royal Treatment to keep our creatures alive, things like this. Questing Druid gives us value out of its Seek the Beast adventure. And so there's a lot of different things we can be doing here. Lone Speaker gives us the ability to animate our lands during the late game, and we have Wrenn and Realmbreaker who does the same with their +1. Additionally, the ability to get the emblem once we have enough creatures on the battlefield to control means that we'll be able to go ahead and play all of our spells out of the graveyard and gain some big advantage down the line. So a ultimated Wrenn and Realmbreaker is very good. Also from the Wilds of Eldraine, we get the Huntsman's Redemption, so Garruk is back to some degree. So, 3-mana Saga, it's pretty decent. You get a 3/3 on the first turn, which is essentially just casting a 3/3, so that's not terrible. You can ramp yourself slightly with the second option and give your things Trample and +2/+2 until end of turn, or at least 2 of them. Other than this, we have Llanowar Elves for acceleration. I mentioned Volcanic Spite. We also have Charming Scoundrel from the new set. It's a haste 1/1, which is not great in the world of Orcish Bowmasters, but the ability to loot for 1, make a treasure to ramp ourselves, or make a wicked roll onto one of our creatures, it's not a terrible thing to do. Of course, we have Invasion of Ixalan. This is going to help us find permanents or lands, potentially. We're not really looking to flip this thing, but if we can, that is convenient. Volcanic Spite will help us do this once we connect once at the invasion. I've kind of just jumped around in the deck here, but we've covered pretty much everything. The final thing to take a look at is Gruff Triplets. I think that this is a pretty good top end when you're considering a deck that can have the ability to play things out of the graveyard. So your Gruff Triplets can represent 9 power essentially when it comes in, but that is repeatable, which is great. So for 6 mana, you get 9 power. That's pretty solid. And when the original copy dies, you may be able to buff those tokens even further. If you cast this multiple times, this also has a compounding effect where the triplet tokens that come from the original casting of Gruff Triplets will also get the +1 if your later copy of Gruff Triplets coming in also happens to die, since it just checks for tokens named Gruff Triplets. So, pretty cool. Ultimately, that will be a decent top end. We really only need 1 of them since we're playing a Wrenn and Realmbreaker that can go ahead and give us that -7 emblem. So with that being said, we have Plan A, Blinkmoth Nexus, Blossoming Tortoise, Draconic Destiny to just one-shot our opponent. And if that doesn't work, or they are able to, counter it each time we play it, we are able to, try again and again with our Wrenn and Realmbreaker, or we can just go ahead and try to kill our opponent the good old-fashioned way by hitting them in the face. So we are playing 24 lands here, pretty standard. We have the other animation lands as well, Den of the Bugbear and Lair of the Hydra, so we essentially have 6 ways, only 4 off color, to go ahead and do our Draconic Destiny stuff. With that being said, these do take a bit more to activate, but it is what it is. So anyway, this is our Eldraine land combo. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Have not played a Gruul deck on the channel in quite a while, so this should be a good and refreshing deck for you guys. Real quick before we hop into the games, if you have been enjoying the content and the Eldraine coverage as a whole, you can show your support by subscribing if you're new here, or if you're a returning subscriber to the channel, you can like the video or comment anything you're feeling about this new set here. With that being said, let's hop to some games and see if we can't combo out our opponents with some lands. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We're in round 1. Well, we have a lot of acceleration here. And we have both of our animation lands, which can come in untapped. So, I mean, while we don't have any of our payoffs, this is a start here. I might want to use Charming Scoundrel at some point. We'll see. With that being said, let's just utilize our ramp here. We are playing what is potentially one of the new sacrifice decks that's come out since Eldraine has been spoiled. These decks like to run Oni Cult Anvil and just generally make a lot of tokens that they can sacrifice for value. So it looks like I am right about this demolition style of gameplay. They've already made 3 tokens here, so we'll need to make sure that we have something that can block them. So what's that going to look like? Charming Scoundrel cannot block, but a Loam Speaker can. Also, a 3/3 from Huntsman's Redemption might be good. I think I actually like this idea more. So we get a blocker. We know that in a few turns we're going to be giving our creatures trample, so we just want to get you know, another big creature down this turn, which I think unfortunately is just going to be our Llanowar Loam Speaker. But that means that on Chapter 3 of the Huntsman's Redemption, we have up to 8 power. Okay, so here's Goblin Bombardment. They'll be able to take out our Llanowar Elves here. Something could be said about them doing that instead of taking out my 3/3, but, you know, it is what it is. I assume they'll have more ways to make tokens here in the near future. Don't really need to sack my 3/3 here because I do like having that around. And what if we were to put this Draconic Destiny out? That could be interesting. I think what I'll do instead is give them the opportunity to kill the Llanowar Elves. And honestly, I could just... I'm going to hold Royal Treatment up, actually. Okay, so the idea is either put a Llanowar Elf out that eats a trigger, but I have the better play of holding Royal Treatment to potentially get them to sack a bunch of creatures at my Beast. And then either make them have to sack additional ones to fully kill it, or, you know, maybe blow them out and it won't die to begin with. So here's a Loam Speaker. They can deal 2 damage to anything. We are set up to do our attack next turn, which feels good. Alright, we pass. Let's see how they use these tokens here. I imagine they're going to have more coming. So here is Oni Cult Anvil. That makes sense. These do not happen to be artifacts, so that's fine. I believe this... Oh, no, it's an enchantment. Okay, never mind then. So their Gleeful Demolition isn't really doing too much right now. They'll be able to make a bunch with a bunch of things with Goblin Bombardment. They could just go for a kill here on one of these creatures, so I think my play to hold up Royal Treatment will actually be a move. Okay, so they will get 4 creatures. That means that they will... Oh, they're actually not activating Goblin Bombardment. Okay. Alright, well, we will give our creatures +2/+2 and trample. That means that they can go all the way in without fear of dying. Opponent will just have to eat this. And I could activate Draconic Destiny this turn, but I don't think that's really the move. If I play Ixalan... Now, if I play Ixalan, this is actually kind of interesting. Some could say that I would have wanted to play it this turn. I think I'll hold this up. If I draw a land, I can also get a Llanowar Elf while holding up Royal Treatment. I think this is better. Getting damage to my opponent is kind of a good idea. We'll probably just take a land here. And then I'll play Llanowar Elves. This I'm happy to let die to a Goblin Bombardment attack. Here goes a Chromatic Star, sure. I just want to kind of keep my 3/3 alive. That's kind of what is keeping me okay here. And now they have a bunch of Goblin Bombardment triggers, so they can start picking off my creatures. We'll have to use Royal Treatment right now. This will not really give me that much to utilize, but it is a start. I think that I would like to trade Llanowar Elves for one of these things. Don't really need the mana. Okay, so we do get our trade. That makes their bombardment a little less potent. And what happens now? Lethal Demolition. Okay, so I mean, I could Royal Treatment to keep my 3/3 alive for sure, but they don't seem keen on like destroying that right now. They're gonna make a lot of creatures here. The Oni Colt Anvil plus Gleeful Demolition is a known, not really a combo, but it is good. We find our Blink Moth Nexus here. And then Loam Speaker, this can just animate a land, which is neither here nor there. I think what I'll do is I'll Charming Scoundrel, discard my Royal Treatment since that's not being useful. I think if they want to kill anything, they will just go ahead and do it. Alright, let's see what we find. Discard this, and we draw a Llanowar Elf. So that's not amazing. We will put it out though, that is a fine trade. And basically, if we just find our Tortoise here, we are a few turns away from just getting Draconic Destiny onto our Blink Moth Nexus. Do I want to attack? I could force them to make some blocks here. Keep my, at the risk of them letting me have an invasion. Looks like they probably just kill this, block through 3. Or do they want to keep their creature count alive? They do. So this is kind of a free attack, which is cool. Well, okay, not a completely free attack. They will kill my Scoundrel. But we do trade one creature. Doesn't feel terrible. We'll end turn here. And we need to really watch out for this Goblin Bombardment on our Blink Moth Nexus, actually, now that I think about it. Loam Speaker, sure. I mean, I could make my Rockfall Veil a 3/3 potentially. But then they could just kill a land. I think it would be worth it to just set up a blocker. That way I can't, it's only as a sorcery. Alright, so then this doesn't matter. Improvised Club, sure. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. We've got 1. We're kind of just trading top decks here. We'll see who's got the better ones. Well, I mean, I'm down to take 3 instead of 4. Okay, sure. Oni Colt Anvil is keeping the constructs coming, and I think I just need to activate my beast with Draconic Destiny. If I were to act, okay, so here's what I can do. I can Den of the Bugbear. They could potentially kill my den. I'll still be able to hold up Draconic Destiny in that case. I'll do this. This also makes me a 1/1. Alright, so we will move in here at the Invasion of Ixalan, try to get some damage on it. Alright, so I get my trigger. We will attack with the Invasion of Ixalan. They will have to sack some creatures, or they can just have a Bowmasters. Okay, sure. So it looks like they'll kill my Bugbear and my 1/1. Okay. If they're smart about it, they kill with Goblin Bombardment here. This would trigger Oni Colt Anvil. Alright, they know what they're doing. Okay, well, I mean, they didn't really need to do it that way, but okay, sure. Wait, what? They should have... Oh, it's during your turn. So this actually didn't really matter how they did it. Fine. Alright, so they have a bit of an edge on me here. We have to draw something good. So bombardment still can kill me. I think we're going to have to give our 3/3 flying this turn. That's the only way we go into Invasion of Ixalan in any sort of meaningful way. Alright, so here's that. We can also sneakily animate Lair of the Hydra for 1 if we want to. Oh, we just got Fatal pushed. Sure. Then I guess we'll just go ahead and do a Blink Moth Nexus. We'll just have to kind of make them sack their board here. And so Draconic Destiny just fizzles here. It would have been better if it made it onto the battlefield first. Looks like they will just attack me with the Goblin Bombardment. Sure. Alright, well that means we're taking 2 instead of 3 a turn. That gives us 1 or 2 more draws. And I think we're finally out of steam here. We're going to have a great draw here if we want to do anything. Lair of the Hydra not having trample is an issue, and we're going to get drained out by Oni Cult if we're not careful. Oh, they just have Shrapnel Blast. Okay. So I think this is more or less the stock list off of MTGA Zone's recent video. This is a pretty strong deck. It's maybe not meta changing, but you know there are some pretty good cards in here with Oni Cult Anvil making a return once again. Gleeful Demolition just being a very high synergy card with Chromatic Star and Anvil. Shrapnel Blast is one of the tech cards that is being played now. It's kind of cool. 5 damage to any target going to the face is actually really strong. You know, you only need 4 of these to win the game. So, you know, all in all, pretty good deck. We kind of just got... We have a creature strategy, and they are really good at making sacrificial blockers. So, you know, it is what it is. With that being said, pretty good game 1. We got most of the pieces together for our combo, just wasn't able to fully execute it. So let's hop into round 2, try it again. Here we go. Okay, round 2, here we go. Let's see what we can do. Well, we have a Huntsman's Redemption and a way to ramp into it, but like last game, if we don't draw the cards that really impact the game for us, we can't really do anything. So we will mulligan this one. And we have a run in Realm Breaker, which is strong. I'll drop the Loam Speaker and then utilize Charming Scout in order to, you know, maybe loot for something if we draw a unnecessary card or another land. Alright, so we're set up for a turn 2 Scoundrel, turn 3 Wren. We get a Lair of the Hydra out, get a Scoundrel. I think in this situation I'm just making a treasure token. Well, Wicked Roll is kind of nice as well. I don't really care about draining my enemy for 1 though, so let me do a treasure token. I changed my mind, don't need to loot. I do actually like hitting my 5th land drop, especially if we're going to be keeping a Ren and Realm Breaker out. Okay, so we will show Rockfall Veil, go in for 1. And I mean, this is Azorius control, so maybe I'm just going to hold up some of my interaction here. If they want to just be hit by a 1/1 until they die, that's on them. Alright, Scryland, sure. Let's see a play out of them before I decide to go to the board with my Ren. Okay, this is fine. We will draw something eventually. Here's a Questing Druid. We can look for a land here or for some action. Probably wanted to use Lair of the Hydra there in case we draw red, if we do. We'll get this out. Questing Druid is on an adventure. Draconic Destiny is not castable right now since we tapped incorrectly. We'll go in for 2, and then probably just cast the Questing Druid from exile. Questing Druid, kind of an interesting card. It doesn't really grow much in green or red, as opposed to if we were playing 4-color. But the ability to look too deep and then just, you know, play a body that slightly gets bigger over the course of the game is not bad. It asks my opponent to show a removal spell. Okay, so, well, Royal's Treatment doesn't help me in this situation. That means that it's probably now time to play Renin Realmbreaker. I'll play Blossoming Tortoise next turn. We could potentially loop our Fabled Passage here, which is going to be ideal. For now, oh man, we're actually just 1 mana off. That's very close. Here's Renin Realmbreaker. A Spell Pierce does not get me here. Oh, it's Pact of Negation. Okay. Very interesting one. This may be like a Gideon kind of deck then. We'll go ahead and find the red here in case we want to use Volcanic Spite. Good to note that is our final red. Alright, so they gotta play their turn paying for Pact of Negation. Means that we'll get a Blossoming Tortoise out. We'll drop an Elves, I guess. Let's bring back a Fabled Passage tapped. Here is an elf holding up a green for royal treatment, and if we want to spend our token, we can also get Volcanic Spite there. As long as they don't have backup Supreme Verdict, we get a good attack in next turn. I've yet to see anything other than just blue-white control out of them. Looks like it'll just be a bunch of board wipes and counter spells. Royal Treatment will be a good card here. Okay, so, you know, they obviously could have Settle the Wreckage here, so, you know, maybe we fetch first. We have, I believe, 3 or 4 lands left in the deck, so if they were to exile these 2, we would be able to ramp out. I think, though, it might be a better move to just play slowly, go in with Blossoming Tortoise. Alright, we'll mill 3. We do get another land. I think we'll just take a Stomping Ground here. And we get to attack in. If they spend all their mana to wipe the board, we are amassing a pretty good Lair of the Hydra turn. So I like that. Fateful Mending, sure. And it really is on our opponent to do something. Okay, what are we doing here? Mordekainen and Ugin. So they are going to maybe Brilliant Restoration me, I see. I think I don't need to worry about Settle the Wreckage in this deck if that's the case. They're playing so many things that they probably are just using Supreme Verdicts. Okay, Supreme Verdict and Doomscar. I'd be surprised if they also play Settle the Wreckage. They do not need 12 effects to wipe the board. Okay, sure. So they're going to Repair and Recharge, getting Ugin out. Ugin will try to kill my Tortoise, which means that I can probably deal with that just fine. Yeah, we should be okay dealing with this Ugin, unless it's the -3. Or, yeah, it'll be -4, but then we can just kill him with Volcanic Spite. So this is okay. So do they go for the +2 or the -4? We can deal with both, honestly. Alright, it's a +2. We'll give it Hexproof. And we can also just Volcanic Spite the Ugin. I'll put the Llanowar Elves on the bottom. And we have Huntsman's Redemption, which is good. We'll do our turn, and we only need a 1 mana Lair of the Hydra. So that means that we need 3 mana. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exactly after the fact. So we could play Gruff Triplets. However, if I were to make a bigger Lair of the Hydra, go in with a Huntsman's Redemption, so I could make a Hydra for 3. All that really changes is I get 1 damage into the opponent from my Llanowar Elves. Oh wait, no, that's not true. I can use my Elf. Huntsman's Redemption, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, yeah, it doesn't... I think I just make a 5 toughness Hydra, right? Okay, yeah, math not exactly being my strong suit right now, but I can do Hydra for 6, right? Pay 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, then I only have 2 left over. So it is Hydra for 1. It gets 2/2 because what? Ah, land creatures get +1/+1. Okay, so did my math wrong there. Oh wait, no I didn't. This actually works out just fine. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly enough to cast Gruff Triplets, but I think I want to use Huntsman's Redemption, so I'll put the Llanowar Elf at my opponent. And we get to mill 3 and return a land. We will take Rockfall Vale, and let's go in. Alright, so we've dealt with an Ugin. That feels great. Now we just slow play with a Huntsman's Redemption. They're going to want to wipe the board here, and if they do, I still have Lair plus Gruff Triplets. These animation lands are really hard for blue-white control to deal with, because their board wipes are at instant speed. So here's the Supreme Verdict. That's okay. What I think I'll do is Gruff Triplets first, to make use of this Chapter 3 of Huntsman's Redemption. We'll get a little bit of a reprieve here. Just Gruff Triplets, and then we'll also just drop a Loam Speaker after the fact. I definitely potentially played into a counterspell there. I thought this was being highlighted. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Okay, so they might have some sort of removal for one of these creatures, but, you know, we're wide enough that it has to be a board wipe at this point. Even if they do, then we just follow up with Lair of the Hydra, and it's all good. So far, we've seen 1 Doomscar, 2 Supreme Verdicts. They will probably look for a board wipe with Otherworldly Gaze, since they clearly don't have it in hand, I imagine. Let's see what they find. And the reanimation spell that we're looking for is Repair and Recharge. They may play 8 copies of this effect, or just the 4. I don't really know. We represent 10 damage here, and if they were to tap out on their turn... Oh, I didn't actually get to see what they did. It looks like they kept on top. So this might be bad. Is there a board wipe coming? Alright, it is a Supreme Verdict. That's okay. Unfortunately, Gruff Triplets will not do anything, and in our upkeep, we're going to make a big Lair of the Hydra here. Okay, so it can be made for 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can put him to 10. We will draw first. And we do not have what we want. We'll go to our main. This will trigger. I want to, in response... Oh, okay, well, I guess I would have needed to make that creature beforehand. Whatever. It is what it is. We're going to have to go in with Lair of the Hydra here for all we've got. I'm down to 1 land in deck. That's good to know. We have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means Hydra for 8. Alright. And I do kind of want to keep this treasure around. So we'll get to go in here, and our opponent needs to draw something to deal with the Lair of the Hydra at instant speed now. Otherwise, they are going to be done for. They did not Otherworldly Gaze in their upkeep, and that might be why. They have Approach of the Second Sun. Okay. Well, we get to go for 9 now, it looks like, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is Hydra for 9. Cool. And it is once again a 2-turn clock. They are going to have to draw the second approach right now, or an answer to my Hydra. Let's see what's it going to be. Again, they're not using Otherworldly Gaze in their upkeep, so it makes me think they have something to do. No, they're digging. Yep, so they surveil everything away. They're going to try to just put up a approach right on the top, it looks like. Okay. So we know the top card of their library. If they cannot deal with the Hydra at instant speed, we have them. Where did their approach from the Second Sun go? Why does that not look like what I think it does? Anyway, we will make this as big as it can be, which I believe was 9. Okay. And that means that we are good through a Faithful Mending. We go in, and do we get it? Alright, we were just barely able to make it. Tom Bombadil, the Magic player. Alright, so, you know, that was a interesting take on blue-white control. It's been a while since I played one of these for the channel. This is definitely not the style that I'm used to playing. when you're taking a look at blue-white control, honestly, if it's me, I like to play a lot of smaller draw spells, things like that. Like, they're obviously going for a combo with Otherworldly Gaze setting up for the repair and recharge, but I don't know. I'm not sure that all these ways to get things into play, like Thran Temporal Gateway, repair and recharge, I don't know if you really want to be putting that many things into a blue-white control deck, which also just really needs to find Doom Scars and Supreme Verdicts effectively. I think that they were pretty close to turning a corner, though, so I can't really say that much, but what I can say is that this is why Lair of the Hydra and these animation lands are so good. It is so difficult, as a blue-white control player myself, to really deal with these, because you often want to be playing a lot of these sorcery speed board wipes and really powerful effects like that, but you also need to sacrifice slots to play, like, Fateful Absence or things like that that can deal with things at instant speed. So, you know, that would have helped them against me here and probably would have won the game for them. So it looks like we kind of won this one at the deck building stage. But, you know, that's all good. That being said, that was our round 2. Let's hop into round 3. Here we go. All right, it's round 3. We have our Blossoming Tortoise, we have a piece of removal, and we have some acceleration to get to an Invasion of Ixalan. I think I'm happy to keep this hand. And, you know, we're also just on the play, so that's good. Play Stomping Ground in Shock, actually, to get our Llanowar Elf set, and then we can potentially use our Ixalan to find our land drop if we don't get anything important that we want to pull. Okay, we find Lair of the Hydra, that's also good. Here's Invasion of Ixalan. And what do we find? We find a bunch of lands, and otherwise a lot of things that we don't really need. Blossoming Tortoise is nice here, though. Or, sorry, Fabled Passage is a good choice here, though, because of Blossoming Tortoise. We get Lair of the Hydra out, which means Llanowar Elf, and then we'll be able to Fabled Passage into Blossoming Tortoise next turn. So that's just going to help us thin out our deck very quickly, which is great. It's a really cool interaction. I'm really enjoying that from this deck. And yeah, so we won't be able to play the Tortoise just, or we won't be able to get the Fabled Passage out just yet, but we will be able to use Rockfall Veil here to cast the Tortoise itself. And hopefully it'll hit a land. It does. We'll actually take Blinkmoth Nexus here. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll take our colors first, since as long as the Tortoise stays on the battlefield, we should be okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and maybe attack here. Try to flip our Invasion. Get to mill 3 here, and I think we'll take that Blinkmoth Nexus now. We do find another Fabled Passage. That's great. And looks like we get in. We're going to be able to flip our Invasion of Ixalan right away. Maybe the first time I've ever done this on the channel, and just kind of in general, actually. Let's play our untapped lands first. We already have a Fabled Passage in the graveyard, so we'll probably just let these rot in the hand until we use Volcanic Spite on them. Okay. We'll see what our opponent does on their turn. It is Binding the Old Gods. Sure, I think we're probably going to be losing our Blossoming Tortoise here. If that is going to happen, I think I'll just use my Volcanic Spite here. Looks like they're probably just on some sort of control plan. That thing gains Indestructible. We'll put our revealed Fabled Passage into the library to redraw. Alright, so we lose that. It's okay. And we'll go to our turn. So we have another Volcanic Spite. We'll play our Fabled Passage for turn. And we get to hit for 5 a turn here. And that 5 a turn can actually be upgraded pretty hard with Lair of the Hydra. So I think we'll just do that. I don't feel a necessity to hold up Volcanic Spite unless they try to kill my Registar. So maybe I actually will do that. That will require 1/2 mana, so I have 4 mana to put into Lair of the Hydra, so this will become a 3/3. X equals 3. I am left with 3 mana left over. That doesn't sound right. Okay, so this can be a 4. Activate Lair for 4. Does this look right? It doesn't. Oh, wait, what? Why is this tapping the way that it's tapping? I'm going to pay 1 into this, and then the auto pay holds up Rockfall Veil. There we go. Alright, that was just weird. We will go ahead and swing in with 8. And things are looking a little bit dire for our opponent here. Let's go. We'll then turn here, holding up Volcanic Spite to give our Registrar indestructible if it comes to it. Time to see if our opponent is on any color other than green and black, and they are not. So we know more or less the colors that we're facing. This is the One Ring, okay. So yeah, mono, or not mono black, but Golgari control here is what we're facing. Gotcha, loud and clear. I'll move to my turn here. We have no ability to attack here, but we do get a Ren and Realm Breaker out, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and plus, we're going to be looking for that -7. I don't think I need to have a creature up until next turn, so I will submit 0. It's worth noting that Ren and Realm Breaker is one of our other ways to animate our lands, which is cool. Alright, so Volcanic Spite being held up is, as always, good. Let's see what our opponent's got here. They're going to be taking damage from the One Ring. We're in a very similar situation as last turn, where if they tap out, I do have Lair the Hydra activation in order to go ahead and get in and deal some damage. That may end up being very relevant here, once again. Opponent's going to start taking 2 a turn. They're going to be digging for another One Ring and may have a Shieldred or Bowmasters coming down at some point. So I want to hold this Volcanic Spite for Shieldred. We're going to also need another creature to deal with her. Another creature or Volcanic Spite, that is. Looks like Ren is going to be destroyed. We can Volcanic Spite our Belligerent Registrar to give it indestructible. We will put our Llanowar away. We lose our Lair of the Hydra, which sucks. We will, though, get to get another invasion out, though, which is great. Move to our turn here. And here's an invasion of Ixalan for 2. And, okay, what will we find here? We find Draconic Destiny. So we actually almost have our combo. I could put Draconic Destiny onto a creature as well. I think I'll just get another Invasion of Ixalan, though. This card has just been pretty solid this whole time. Alright, so 2 invasions out. Blossoming Tortoise is great. We can even cast it here. We'll go ahead and find our green, moving to combat. Attack with Registrar, leaving our Llanowar Elves to cast Tortoise. Alright, so they'll need a Wrath, which is not commonly found in green and black, so I'm feeling pretty good about our Registrar plan. Here's a Tortoise for good measure. Looks like we'll just go ahead and take a Fabled Passage out. We want to thin our deck all the way out. And yeah, so our opponent takes 2 here. They need to find something here. Casualties of War does not do it yet. They go for the 3 draw. And really it's just find ring or bust here. That or like a Shieldred. Okay, it's a Phyrexian Obliterator, that's a problem. Okay, and here is the Obliterator. So now we have to deal with this, which is actually a pretty big issue for us. Ooh, that's a problem. Now what do? We have to sack 5 permanents. Well, we'll get rid of 1 Invasion of Ixalan. I think an Elf can go, and then 2 lands. We still win with a Draconic Destiny draw here. Okay, well now we're not going to win. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Phyrexian Obliterator plus fight effects. Wild. 4 permanents. What if we just keep our 3/3? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if a Blossoming Tortoise can take us the way. Opponent still is taking 3 a turn to their One Ring, so, you know, we can put them down to 2 draws. Yeah, I mean, this is decent. Let's give this thing Ward 1. Alright, it's 4-4. We get to go in. Luckily, we do get to get lands back from Tortoise, which is great. Alright, opponent goes to 5. They go then to 3 with the One Ring. And we might be able to eke this one out. Opponent has to kill our Blossoming Tortoise and play a One Ring. Okay, a Shieldred also works. Alright, so now we again have a problem. Shieldred will gain them 8. A Blossoming, whatever, or a Draconic Destiny still doesn't do it for us. We need 1 more mana. Enchantment, so that will take away my Royal. Can I animate Nexus? Yes, I can, tapping it. So I will sack the Nexus to keep my Tortoise alive. And we will lose the enchantment. Shieldred gets to gain them life, and all of a sudden, opponent has swung it around. What a what a roll here. Tail swipe. Okay, so this is just death touch fight mechanics, I guess. We can go in with the Land of War Elf and protect our life total. Opponent's still at a net negative with the One Ring and Shieldred. Actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, they just gained 10 here. Alright, well, it's back to the start of the game, except I have no cards and my opponent has 14. We might be out of luck here. I think we definitely had some stuff going for us with the multiple, where are they? The multiple invasions, that was pretty strong. And yeah, the Casualties of War here I think is just going to break the back. What do we really get to do from this point? I don't think much. Opponent's got the secondary One Ring. I'll take a draw, but I think we are just about ready to get going here. Casualties of War, I was kind of not really considering this as a very good card in this matchup when the first one came out. But now that they've been able to utilize Phyrexian Obliterator in such a nasty way with these tail swipes, that just makes Casualties of War great. And I'm sure they have another one in hand. And to add insult to injury, here's the Draconic Destiny that we needed to win the game. I think on that note, we'll go ahead and ship this one to our opponent. They have got the game here in just a few more Shieldred attacks. Pretty strong control finish out of our opponent. I think that there was a moment in there where we had the game and just needed to swing our shot. We gave it what we got, but it was just a bit short. So those are round 3. We're having an ultimately difficult time here getting the combo off. The secondary beatdown game plan is maybe not the strongest in the format right now. We're seeing a bit of a resurgence of control decks, which I think is generally a cool thing. You'll definitely see a lot of those on the channel going forward. But you know, we're going to try here a few more times and see if we can't get a Draconic Destiny kill out. Let's hop into round 4. Okay, here's our round 4. This starter is okay. We get a little bit of advantage card-wise out of Questing Druid, but we don't have like a turn 1 play, plus our mana's a little rocky. I'm mulligan this one. We get Tortoise Treatment, Lone Speaker. I don't really feel too hyped about this, honestly. I'll keep 6. Get rid of Treatment. That's probably one of our worst cards. So we have a turn 2 Lone Speaker, turn 3 Questing Druid on Seek the Beast to try to find a play. Try to find a playable land, that is. Alright, these Soul Wardens are gonna suck. Would I be down to get rid of one of these cards in my hand? We'll give them 2 life first, and then we'll think about doing that. At least now they can't attack me. Griffin Airy. Alright, I see what's happening. So I feel pretty much like I want to Volcanic Spite one of these no matter what. I think that will have to supersede doing anything with Questing Druid. We'll wait for them to attack. I'll probably put one of the questing druids back. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to need to kill that Soul Warden. Oh, they actually don't do anything. Until my next end step. So, I mean, I could just Seek the Beast now. I could actually double Seek the Beast, depending on what I find. Lone Speaker Ixalan? Yeah, I think I'll probably just kill the Soul Wardens then. We'll put the other questing druid back and draw. We have tortoises now. Tortoises, do I have lands in the graveyard? I do not. So we're looking for Fabled Passage, ideally. Nexus, another Invasion, or another Lone Speaker. I almost want another Invasion. Maybe a land is better, though. Let's get a land. We have 3 mana here, so we can put the Stomping Ground in tapped. I think Questing Druid on Seek the Beast is not a good move. And that Lone Speaker will be going away. Oh wait, this is on an adventure, right? Yeah, I think this is the one that I cast, so it's fine. We have Volcanic Spite to take care of the Soul Warden. I'll swing in first. See if I can get a free damage here or a free trade. Alright, and then the move is to play a Blinkmoth Nexus, use Volcanic Spite. End turn. Yeah, so the Questing Druid, this is how it looks on an adventure. That's kind of interesting. Johnny's Pridemate. I mean, that thing will grow. I'm going to have to kill it in response. Griffin Airy almost triggers this turn. We'll put a Tortoise back since we only need one of those to win the game, and there's Draconic Destiny. Alright, this is the closest we've been all series. I'm hoping that we can do it. Here is Blossoming Tortoise. They will gain a life, but now we don't care. As long as they don't get Griffin Airy triggered. That is the one thing that we need to avoid. I can pay 2 life here. They've gained... It's under your control, right? So they've gained 1 life from here. So I will still cast my Questing Druid. They'll gain a 2nd life, but it's not enough to trigger their Airy. Okay. Alright, well this is as close as we've gotten. As long as they cannot gain 3 life here, it's good. Play a 3-drop. Okay. I think we might have them. Let's be very careful about this. I don't want to misclick and activate something incorrectly. Alright. They're going to choose something in their hand. I do not care what it is unless they drop a land and then some creature. Then I'll be sad. Luckily, Ethereal Escort does not have flying, though it looks like it should be a flyer. Okay, so here is what we're doing. We are going to use the mana of the just came in Blinkmoth Nexus to activate the existing Blinkmoth Nexus. Oh, I forgot that that's actually free because of Tortoise. So then we will make red here and activate Draconic Destiny on our Blinkmoth Nexus. Alright, and now it's just Blinkmoth Nexus, Draconic Destiny. And that is just free until we are at 29. I will probably just go ahead and edit this one. Or maybe it won't take me that long to clip. Regardless, we have our opponent here, and hopefully they stay around to see the Blinkmoth Nexus get huge. And it looks like I'll just be at the mercy of my own group to see if I can get there quick enough. Okay, and our opponent's seen enough after the Blinkmoth Nexus gets to a 27-3. Okay, we finally did it. This is all that I was hoping for out of this series here. Alright, yeah, so, you know, while the creature strategy hasn't really been working too much, you can always win with a combo, that's for darn sure. All right, well, we finally made our combo in round 4. We have one final round to go after it here in round 5 coming up. Hope you enjoyed. Let's hop into the next round. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the final round. We have one more try at it. This is a pretty big 2 CMC hand. We will be able to get red mana, though, at some point, which is good. I'm going to keep 7 here. We'll probably run out the Invasion first, or possibly the Lone Speaker, depending on what our opponent is on. We see Larissa the Dream Den and multiple mulligans out of our opponent. I think that's a mull to 4, if I have been watching correctly. So looking like a pretty rickety hand out of my opponent. Hopefully we can capitalize on that. It is indeed a mull to 4 here. We will drop fetch for red here. And I mean, Charming Scoundrel can help us ramp to a double spell on turn 3, so I'm kind of inclined to do that. Ooh, it's Hateful Eidolon, which makes me not want to play my Charming Scoundrel anymore. Hateful Eidolon, a pretty difficult card to deal with sometimes. We will play a thing that is not a creature in that case. Run Realmbreaker, sure. I think that's a good one to take. We won't really be wanting to animate our lands because they're going to definitely kill them. We'll have to just play a non-creature game for right now. Hateful Eidolon's a 2/3 now. We can still kill it with the correct draw. Let's see if we get lucky. That Invasion of like Ixalan might just need to stick there for a little bit. Okay, Rockfall Vale, sure. And what do we play here? We can get Charming Scoundrel, Wicked Roll. I mean, we can make this a 2/2, but is that really that strong? I don't really think so. I want to avoid giving them cards, though. So, I mean, maybe I'll just try to distract them with a red. We're going to +0.
Every word I must fight back.
Okay. So I don't know if the deal is that they want to suit up their own Hateful Eidolon or if they want to kill our creatures.
The corruption spreads.
Blinkmoth Nexus might be a good idea. Play a land. I think I'll just probably use Ren as a distraction, honestly. Do I want to take something? You know what? Maybe I will actually use the -2 here. That seems like a good idea. Permanent card. Do we want Den or Huntsman's Redemption? I think I want that. So I can Charming Scoundrel into Huntsman's Redemption. We'll go ahead and put a Wicked Roll on my creature, and then suppose Loam Speaker. Or actually, I'll wait and use Seek the Beast on my opponent's end step. We kind of need to dig here, which is unfortunate. It's not really the place that we want to be in this deck. I was afraid of a dead weight. Looks like my opponent will get to draw off of my creature. At least they lose a life through my Wicked roll. Take 4 now. It's kind of an awkward position to be in. Okay. Let's try to Seek the Beast and see if we can find something useful. Alright, we get a land and an invasion. I think that's probably fine to play. We can do another Ren and Realmbreaker, but now we have Gruff Triplets, and this is good. This is actually very good. I guess we'll take a Questing Druid. But I mean, they can just kill most of these things. I'll try Loam Speaker. This will at least take 2 dead weights. It's potentially good for my opponent, though. SRAM, okay. Well, at least my opponent's stuck on their lands, at least. We are not going to block this. What we will do is get in with Gruff Triplets. Alright, that's huge. Now they can't effectively attack. Okay, the SRAM thing is fine. I think they're going to sack into some draw spell, though, which means they're going to definitely have gas after this turn. Yep. Oh, no, that's not what's happening. Okay, sure. Looks like they just want to make some awkward blocks for me. I mean, we're killing Eidolon if it attacks. Alright, they just passed through. I like that. We have Blossoming Tortoise. We're getting very close to combo time. Do I have a Fabled Passage in the graveyard? I at least have a Den of the Bugbear, so maybe I'll just take that. We already have a Fabled Passage, actually, so here's Tortoise. Mill 3, what do we find? It's a Blinkmoth Nexus number 2. We don't need that, so we'll take Den of the Bugbear here. And then I'll shock Stomping Ground since I want to leave the basics into my deck. Actually, you know what? I probably want to thin my deck instead. We want to find a Draconic enchantment. Alright, one land left in the deck here. We will play a Huntsman's Redemption. And all of a sudden, our board's looking pretty good. We have the insta-kill on our opponent if we draw Draconic Intervention or whatever it's called. So, all of a sudden I feel good about this. Our opponent might deal with our board, but I'm hoping that they don't. All that glitters on Hateful Eidolon, so I'm going to need to absolutely start chumping now. It's a 9/10 with lifelink. Luckily we have a way to deal with that. Gruff Triplets dying here might actually be a good thing. I'll block like this, block like that. I think they have Deadweight in hand. Alright, so we have two 6/6s now. We can deal with a Hateful Eidolon. So while they're dealing with that, we're going to try to draw into our Draconic Intervention. Yep, I predicted that Deadweight. Maybe shouldn't have blocked in this situation. Just kind of clearly telegraphed what they wanted to do. Alright, go to our turn. It's a Llanowar Elf. We didn't want that. Search my library for a creature card. Unfortunately, Gruff Triplets is in the graveyard. Do I have a creature card that I want? I mean, it's just Blossoming Tortoise, really. So I don't think I really want a creature card. Lair of the Hydra is interesting. I'm like, it's debatable whether or not I even want to play any of these cards. Put this out tapped. And maybe, how big can Lair of the Hydra get? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. It can be a 6/6. Yeah, I don't really think that we have anything that we want to do. I guess I will play some 1/1s to block the Eidolon. That is the one thing that I do need to do. Alright, we'll just put everything out here. At the very best, this represents a bunch of mana. At the very worst, it represents my opponent drawing a bunch of cards. Alright, so we still have 4 live draws that win us the game. We will need to definitely save up these ropes because I'm going to need to click a lot to get my combo onto the board. Looks like we lose due to a Deadweight, sure. It's going to be tough because my opponent's going to start getting lands. Yep, there's another land. Alright, so opponent goes in for just a lot right now. I suppose I just block Stay Alive. Stay Alive is possible. Alright. let's just get the draw that we need right now. How about that? Oh my god, it's Draconic Destiny. We'll make these bigger, but it is not at all what we need to do. We need to go ahead and Blink Moth Nexus activation, which I always forget is free. Then we'll Draconic Destiny our Blink Moth Nexus. The autopay solution should not include Blink Moth Nexus itself. Alright, and here's Blink Moth Nexus getting +1/+0 until the cows come home. We're going to make this thing a 50-50 and then swing in for lethal. Gonna definitely have to edit this one unless my opponent concedes, so stick along for the ride here, and I guess I'll just do my outro since this is round 5. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck. I think that this was just an absolutely fun one to try to combo out with. The ropes are definitely your biggest enemy here, and I am going to be clicking as fast as possible to get through this thing. Yeah, but if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more content from me as I cover the new Eldraine cards, you can do so by subscribing if you're new here, and if you are a returning viewer of my channel, thank you for being here. And you can further support my content by liking the videos or by leaving a comment on them. All of that stuff helps me out so much, and I am super happy that you guys continue to stay here and come watch my content. That being said, my opponent has finally conceded, and I've saved myself one editing session, so that feels good. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one, and have a good one playing with these new Eldraine cards. I'll see ya.